talking about, you guys are really lucky actually. Because originally, right, I wasn't going to call this episode, but because there's a lot of pathfinding to do, and I was thinking whether or not to call this episode, but I decided, hey, I've got to finish this, so I got it to a playable state, which probably took about 4 hours today, and it required me to completely redo how it worked, and then I had a bug that was really problematic, and it kept me going for like ages, and I don't even know, I have a clue what caused the bug, but like a lot of it is to do with how the pathfinding A star system works, and I don't really know the intricacies of the A star code, so it means obviously I don't know any of it really other than the API, meaning that little problems like that will occur and it's going to be difficult for me to fix them. However, if you guys do have problems in the description below with your scripts, for example, or you do have problems in general, you can post them and I may be able to solve your problem, right? So I'm going to show you the script, and then we will actually I'll first show you what it does. So, you will notice one thing, and some of you may be like, oh, this is really weird. You will notice all the squares. By the way, this is only gizmos, so turn it off and this is what it looks like. But with gizmos on, you can see, yeah, it's a mess, isn't it? This is all the gizmos, all the stuff it requires. So by clicking anywhere on the screen, my character will pathfind to that position. It's a little bit glitchy, but here it's pretty good. He'll go around here to get to this spot. But if I just, stop him here. See how he kind of jumps down there? Let's say I want to move up here, he'll move pretty smartly. But he'll also have a little bit of problem. Sometimes you may have to click back a little bit. Because he's thinking he can pass through there. And really he has to go around like that. Now there's a few problems with this. One of the key problems is the fact that this is not counting these as objects. Or kind of these. See, it's trying to go through it. And that will be covered in a later episode when we try nav meshes out, see if nav meshes fixes the problem. Oh, it did break. But it still works practically 100% as long as the only problem is with how it functions. So we see this goes really well, and this goes really well, and it goes around that corner. But sometimes, especially around here, he thinks he can climb up here. So how it works is, if we go over to this character, wherever he is, he reads, as you can see here, and this is my fault, kind of. He reads this terrain as he can walk across here. Right? He reads this as that is possible. In reality, it isn't, and this is because stop here. This isn't steep enough. So the best way to fix this is literally just to smooth out the height. Like this, and make sure this is impossible. So he's kind of paint height, like this, and just make sure this is painted a lot more. And then if we scan it, we see that we essentially just want to kind of eliminate this, and that should make it a lot better. Now you shouldn't do that. So if we do what we did before, which was, I think, yes, cool. Oh, we'll turn off L. Here we go. He goes right around, and then we come back around. He is going to get a bit stuck on that block area. Oh, I know why. See, he's actually getting stuck right here. Like right here. Now, there's a few ways we can do this. We can actually close down the maximum climb to like a lot smaller. I think 0.4 is a good amount. Okay, we want a little bit less, more. Because essentially he can climb these areas, but we don't want to say he can climb too much. It's like, this is quite good actually. I don't know if this is going to be too much or it's going to not be enough. Reload the scene, save, there we go. If you press A, then you will have a little laggy session just because of how it works. So we'll click over here. and I expect this should work. I did boost the speed. This is 30, by the way. So differences in low and stuff, they've got move speeds of like 300. So if you wanted to keep that same kind of idea, it's still not like in this corner. Really, it should be doing this and then this, but it's reading this corner weirdly. Now that is completely the user's fault, by the way. So it's not. It's completely the graph, how it's reading the graph. It's actually probably here that's actually the fault. So we scan that, you see that it's actually here, it reads as. So if we smooth this down a bit, but quite a bit, then you should see a slight improvement. Maybe this will work now. I'm just gonna see if I can get it working just to show off. It was here. There you go. And the biggest problem is you have to hold the spacebar. If you just click it, it doesn't center on your character. It just moves towards him. Some would say that was what they want. Really what we want our character. Now, so when I'm talking about this stuff, this is completely, as I was saying before, completely kind of the user's fault in the way. We can give our character a little bit more of a jumping, of like increasing split limit to 45. This could help him by quite a significant amount, and may help him to get up these things. It will allow essentially the character to get up a bit higher, and maybe a little bit of a fix here. Yeah, it definitely helps it. If you select that here, but like it's still not great. But the fact is, you can still pathfind. So you'd say I select all the way over there, he will still pathfind. And I have a few different things on him. I've got this funnel modifier, which I'll open up, which essentially simplifies path on nav mesh, which basically it finds the shortest path within it, and it makes nav meshes obviously look smaller, better. And then it's also got the simple smooth, which is quite nice. I guess we could try Bezier. I mean, there's a bunch of things you can do. Oh, so he's gonna do a little loop-de-loop here. Actually, Bezier may have fixed this. So we'll send our character, see if he can solve his way around. Bezier seems to fix this. Bezier just made. I mean, it's a little weird that he likes sticking to the walls, but essentially what's just happening here is that he's just decided that that's the quickest way. And yes, I know he's like jumping down things and stuff like that. But I think that's pretty darn cool. If I do say so myself. And he's done. Isn't that freaking cool, isn't it? That's really nifty. It's a cool little system I've spent a little bit of time on. And, I mean, I am going to be spending a lot more time on it when I get back from Cambodia. And my whole aim will be, in my own time by the way, will be trying out nav meshes, trying out other meshes, trying out other types of grids, seeing what the best grid is. I mean, I did do a little bit of nav mesh. Where is it? Train, show graph. If we have nav mesh on, as you can see, I did spend a decent amount of time fixing it, and I mean this is only because this is not smoothed out because I was moving it a lot. But like it's fully nav meshed, and this means it should have a lot less problems getting around these areas because it recognizes where it can go. And the biggest thing about this is, I think, these, well, I mean, this problem I think it had, I can't remember what it was like this one here. No, it wasn't. It was like it was getting down here. It would hate these corners. Here would actually go around a bit nicer instead of trying to cut through the corner. So I think nav meshes would work a little bit better. I don't know. You can also include your mesh renders, by the way. When I bake these, you will see that this actually includes this, I believe. I believe it bakes this. I can't tell without like moving these or whatever, but I believe it does bake mesh around it so that it will actually work around the objects, and I believe that's going to be quite nice. Just how things work. It is a bit like this just because of how the zoom works or something like that. Well, guys, now let's actually show you the code because it's useless showing you the stuff about the code. So, a few things you want to add to a counter script. You just want to add seeker. We didn't know that it takes system. That's cool. Okay, we're gonna turn off that. There we go. You can do things like save and load and generate cache and load from cache and stuff like that. I rather not because I make quite a few changes constantly, so it just means you have to constantly do that. So in our character script, obviously on our, if you're going to do it this way, you want to add an Astar path. You can just say, oh, what is it? It's you go pathfinding pathfinder. So you click the pathfinder script, and that will give you this. You just will click add new graph, grid graph, then make it 100, 100, 5, center it on your piece. If you guys don't understand this, please put that in the comment section below, and I will do the next video explaining it, right? I'll do the next video from scratch, this whole system, right? And then I'll show you how to fix a few little things and stuff like that. Then I'll move on to what I've been finding out with nav meshes, okay? So if you do have problems with this, please put in the connection below and the comment section below, and then I will go over this next time. Even though you may not have all the settings for this, you'll have enough. I mean, I didn't really change much else. I think I gave a few little like other settings, like I think I gave it 1 thread count instead of none. I don't know, because you can't use more than one on default, and that's what we just using the very basic one for you guys. Obviously if you have more, it may be faster because you may be able to use more threads, but I really doubt we're going to be doing too many, because especially with our little minions, we don't actually even need to really do pathfinding, even though we will. Okay, on our character script we have a few things. On our cube and our sphere are only used for objects, for our actual model, so don't put any scripts on them other than the actual like model thing. Obviously the sphere is this thing, like the little image, and the cube's this thing, so that's it. Our character script needs to have seeker. You shouldn't need to write anything else. To turn gizmos on, use king kicks button, by the way, and that should do everything. I mean, you should really need nothing else, honestly. Didn't mean that. There we go. Okay, obviously you got your stats screen. I did believe I made a few changes. Oh, where was it? No, it wasn't there. Was it starting character? Yes, I made a few changes. I added this thing, a public stat copy, and then I just because the problem with this is that you need it for starting up, right? So when I start off and make my character, I'll have to drag on my stats, and then as soon as I click start up, it'll give me my default stats. And you go, well, why is that useful? Well, that's better than having to type here and going, okay, cow and stuff like that. You know, it's better than having to type each one. You only have to do it once with your number arrays. You just find a stat screen that's default, because there'll be like a default kit which will come with the stat screen and should maybe come with this all set up. And you just click start up. It gives you all these stats. So we will just move them all and say add a bunch. Obviously reset it. They're all back again. And you get your stat screen, which I know you can do it from here. Which you may be able to. You can. Wow, that's funny. Because it's like how it happens. You can do it for you. And for you who do not have the events inspector, which I do, I know this may annoy a few people that I've got the events inspecting. People go, oh, well, I don't. I know that may annoy you, and I'm sorry that has happened that way. I don't know why this character, stuff like that really shouldn't be there. I'm just not gonna bother with though, because I don't know. Guys, I'm sorry that this events inspector is there. It was just the best way for me to actually see my dictionaries, and I've given tips for all scripts I've ever written with this. I've given how to do it without events inspector. And for future ones, I won't be using events inspector. It was just with this, there's a lot of dictionary editing on runtime I had to do, and I didn't want to add like a whole API just so I can do that. So I just decided to do this. Nothing else changed whatsoever. You can still code it, by the way. Character control, you need that. The default, nothing's changed there. Move to space is where it's changed, and these two are just the down, like the ones you can get under begin pathfinding modifiers. And they're here. And you get your box collider, so nothing's changed. This is the script that's changed. A lot of this was taken from Monster Move and then just kind of changed to be needed. This doesn't change. Maybe portrait changed. Yes, portrait changed. Portrait has a public star chart, which I don't know if I had before, but on the update function, if it equals null, then it's going to do a search, and then it's going to turn player, which is only going to be you, because all the other players are not going to have the tag player. You will have player. Every other player will have a tag like friendly, and we'll do that under the network thing, which we should have done earlier, but we'll do that like maybe even now. Oh yeah, why not? We can do it now. No, we won't. Monster Move, obviously we've gone through this another time. We won't be destroying our objects. If we are, that's really weird. You don't really want to destroy our players, so that shouldn't happen. Okay, so we have a private seeker, a public path. So what I suggest you do is get all of this, copy, just get all of this, so take out the on disable, and just copy and paste this into here. And then you can just like remove all the comments or whatever, and then you can just change the few things that we need, right? Okay. So we have a seeker, we have a path, we have a stats, which is our copy of stats, which is equal to our game component, right? Then we have a controller and a seeker. So the only thing that will change here will be you will remove this. You will obviously remove this. So just make sure your variables look like this. So you have a seeker, a public path, a private copy of stats, a private current waypoint, which will be somewhere here, so because we're copying obviously all of these. Here's your next waypoint, here's your path, here's your speed, controller, and max waypoint distance or next waypoint distance or whatever you want to call it is going to be 5F. They can be less, it can be more. We're having ours 5F because there's problems if you make it too small. So 5F works and it's not too bad. It's a little short, and we will be looking into optimizing that later. So, on path complete, this probably should be a bit lower, but it doesn't really matter. So, late update, let's make sure this is at the very end of the frame, meaning that we're making sure that the player has clicked or he hasn't. You know, there's no halfway through the frame he's clicked or something, I don't know. Alright, this is late update. If he has pressed the right mouse button and he's not over a game object, and remember this is not over a UI game object. It's not a normal game object, it's a UI game object. Then we're going to get Ray, and Raycast hit. This is already, I believe was already here. So this was in the old update function on move to space. If you remove that, don't worry. But if you haven't, you should be able to copy and paste it and just change the we don't need this hit point, but you should just change the bit where it's like transformed to position is equal to hit point. Just change it to this. So just make sure it looks like this. This is wrong. We gotta fix this later. Fix this later to a layer of players. Then we'll start a path. So, the raycast out here is 1,000. Excuse me. So, 1,000, very, very simple. Oh, it says 10,000. It could be math after infinity. Actually, that would make it much more. Infinity. Make it much, much more accurate. And then if they hit, obviously that, we'll fix that later. Then we're going to start path. What this will do is this just, do you know that green line that you saw? I don't know if you saw the green line. Hopefully you did. That green line that you saw, that was the path. This is what the secret at start path is. This is not moving along the path. This is a big key thing that you got to get in your head. That the secret at start path is not actually creating the path. It's not actually moving you along the path. This was a big problem that I had. I just couldn't, I didn't realize that, and it was only once I actually was reading through the code and I went, oh my gosh, it means this. Because I didn't really read through it, I just kind of copied off the site kind of thing, or copied off Monster Move and then made a few changes, then did go a little bit off the site and stuff like that. And it was only once I was reading through and I went, oh, that's what happens, and I realized that this wasn't actually, like, on path complete didn't mean it finished the path, like the guy got to the very end of the path, it meant it finished loading the path, and my character would just stand still. I'd be like, why? It's because even though the path was created, the character wasn't moving along it. That's my fault. It's not it creating the path's fault. So this on path complete means it's completed the calculation of the path. It hasn't actually completed the path. Now this is kind of confusing because if you look at it here, it says here, I can't like, oh yeah, the function to call back when the path has been calculated. Like, if you read that, it would be fine. But I didn't, so, damn it. Okay, transfer to heat position is, we're just saying our current position, so I'll start a path from our current position to the hit point, and then once you're done, say, hey, on path complete, we're done. And if we have an error, then... Oh, sorry, I just had a hiccup. Let me drink some tea. Had some really bad hiccups. I had an MRI today, so sorry if I'm still a bit dazy or whatever. I'm mostly over it, but I'm like still really tired and drunk. So path equals P. And then current waypoint equals 0. So all we're doing is we're just saying our current path that we're going to follow is P, and then our waypoint. So I'm going to not explain pathfinding in this one because I don't think I've explained it before. And what's going to happen is I'm going to go back to my previous episodes with pathfinding and check whether or not I've explained it. If I haven't, I'll have a special side episode or even just a side series saying where I explain it from the very basics, you know, getting what Astar means from the very basics and showing you the essentially of what is behind the scenes. And that will be massive for you guys because you guys really should know the basics behind it. I mean, you don't really need to know too much behind it, but you need to know how it works. Like this API mistake here is fine. It's just because it's a new system, and I should have read the little function summary here. But if you didn't understand how the waypoints work, then you'd have problems because waypoints are completely different than you would think they are. So if I say waypoint in a game, let's say, I don't know, a game, right, a Far Cry or something, then what's going to happen is that's a position and it tells me almost like a path to that waypoint. But that's not how it works here. Waypoints are essentially very tiny little steps. So for example, if I have a goal, my target is 2 meters away, then maybe 8 waypoints, or maybe 12. And each of those waypoints will be tiny little dots that I will achieve to get to my score. And that means that it will allow me to go around corners, and the more heavy the corner is and the more up and down and stuff, the more there will be waypoints. And the less waypoints are, the more the shape will be static and the more the shape will be straight. But obviously, with how pathfinding works, it's actually faster to go zigzaggy than it is to go straight. But that doesn't make sense in games. Because in games, and I'm literally drawing on the screen right now. Because in games, it doesn't make sense, because the essence of games is if you're going zigzaggies, it would be really hard to aim shots, and really hard to aim skill shots, all that stuff. So that's what waypoint is. It'll be explained a little bit more in a second. And if there is an error, then just debug the error, because there shouldn't be. There may be an error, for example, you have a spawn on your map that doesn't have any, that you didn't cover in your scan by accident, and then it's going to be like, there's no node there. And nodes are like, literally, the easiest way for me to explain a node is they're spots that could be waypoints. So, for example, here, if we scan and show graph, you go, wait, where are these nodes? That's where the nodes are. Right in this middle. I'll bring it up for you. Let's just select this, and then bring it up. See, that's the nodes. These in here. And so when you select here, it's going to go, what's the closest node? Here. Okay. Let's find our way to this node, and then we're done. And 5 spacing is pretty good. So if I select here, it's going to do like here, and you'll get like here-ish. Alright. Pretty darn good. So we'll go back to our old status. The reason we want underground is so we can do this, because it only goes from downwards up, instead of going, it doesn't go downwards too. And you can do like isometric angles, for example, like stuff like that. But normally things just mark up that way. It's just not that good, and I don't know why you want it. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, it's a little bit of stuff here that you'd fix up. I don't know, I'm just touching that stuff. Yeah, there we go. And tells you how many milliseconds it takes. Normally it's about 40 milliseconds, which is quite a decent amount. Especially when you look at this, and that took 40 milliseconds to do. And right now, 40 milliseconds is quite a big amount. Wait. His movement speed must be 0. Movement speed. Always make this public. Because this was another problem, it was just saying to 0. So maybe this could be enough. I don't know, there's a few problems at work here. There's never a simple problem. Stats, and then movement speed is not 150. Oh, there we go, that's it. So wait, we said 30? It's only because we initialize them. So that'll be fine. There we go. But see, when I click, there's a slight delay whenever I click. These ones are fine. For making little clicks, there are a slight delay. Do you see them? If I'm clicking like these really long ones, like over here, and over here, over here, over here. I'm trying to get like the delay, but you saw the delay before. Yeah, like that. See, it takes time to sometimes. And that's because of the milliseconds, especially the 1 millisecond ones. They will take like a really quick second to do. So we want everything under about 0.2, but I'll explain. So fix update. This is done every second. So it's not done every frame or every end frame. It's done every second. If we don't have a path return, if we have somehow more waypoints or equal amount of waypoints than we can, right? So we've reached the end. However, if we haven't got that, so we got more waypoints, the path still exists, or whatever, then what we do is we say the direction that we're going to move in it's not really the direction. It's kind of like, essentially what we're doing is controller.simple move basically just kind of moves you towards that, like, kind of moves you towards that position. So here we're just getting a vector path of our current waypoint. So basically, just literally the vector 3 of our next waypoint. So our next waypoint on the map, and then we're minusing our position. So what's the difference between the next waypoint and us? And then we're normalizing that to make it so it's not going to be like 3.4 one time, 3.5 one time, 3.6, because you know how floats are. And then we're going to times that by our speed, and then we can just simple move in that direction. Sometimes they do it double this, so they have this in a different thing. Don't times by time dot fixed delta time. I think that's it. Time dot fixed delta time. This thing is it. You guys don't do any of that. You don't need it. Simple move will organize itself. And then we're checking if the distance, which is the distance between our current position and then the waypoint, if essentially our distance between that. So by the way, you may go, this is done every second. So every second you're obviously not going to instantly teleport there. So every second you will move the distance normalized times your speed. So that means that you'll take, essentially, the higher speed is obviously the faster you move, but you may never get there 1 second, you may get there in half a second. Doesn't really matter. And then if at the end of that move, the distance between your position and the waypoint, if it's less than the maximum like margin of error, so if you don't have that, then you kind of overshoot it, then come back, undershoot it, overshoot it, undershoot it, overshoot it, keep kind of bouncing back. If that is true, then we're just going to plus the kind of waypoint. Very, very simple, very, very cool. Hopefully this guys give you an example of how we can kind of use the point and click a little bit better than what we were using before. And from here we can actually use attacking people and stuff like that. And there's going to be a bunch of other things like health bars and stuff that we're going to introduce next time. Still quite a few more episodes, hopefully not too many. I'm going to do more of these kind of things where I build code and show you it. That way I can make sure I don't spend hours in bugs, and I don't make the episodes like, I don't get it to like episode 80. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these. I know these are slightly low quality. I'm feeling really sick right now. I'm trying to get back to the standards of things. Hopefully like tests come back good. Anyway, see you guys next time.